I woke up to a miracle today. Triggers stay as I find my way. No judgment to lead astray. In this peaceful state I'll stay.
You know that feeling, maybe halfway through the day, when it suddenly dawns on you that most of the stress you're carrying around, it's actually just this running conversation inside your own head.
Oh, absolutely. You suddenly catch yourself maybe planning out an argument with someone who isn't even there.
Right. Or feeling defensive about something that hasn't even happened.
Exactly. And that moment, that little self-correction where you see you're the one generating the upset, that's right when a lesson like today's is about to land.
Welcome back, everyone. We're exploring A Course in Miracles together, and today we're looking closely at Lesson 281. It's a very direct one. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts.
It's interesting how this lesson follows right after that detailed section, what is the Holy Spirit? It feels like a deliberate shift. We've just explored the definition, the Holy Spirit, as our bridge back to God, the means for reinterpreting everything.
And now, bang. Lesson 281 takes that whole theoretical understanding
and drops it right into the middle of our everyday, moment-by-moment thinking. It's saying, okay, now it's time to notice his guidance actively within the thoughts we're choosing.
It's such a short sentence, isn't it? But the promise packed into it is enormous.
It really is.
The idea that all the peace, all the safety we think we need to strive for or find somewhere out there,
it's already ours, inherently.
The only thing required is to stop mistaking our own internal interpretations, often fearful ones, for what's actually happening externally.
This lesson confirms that our safety is completely internal, and because it's internal, it's constant. It doesn't change no matter what the world seems to be doing.
And it's important to understand what the lesson isn't asking. Right?
Yes, that's crucial. It's not suggesting we deny feeling pain or pretend physical sensations aren't happening.
Or push away limits we might feel.
No. It's asking us to get really honest about where the emotional suffering actually comes from, the upset, the distress that arises from the meaning we give to an event.
Not the event itself.
Not the event itself. Our job is simply to identify that thought, that interpretation behind the feeling, and then be willing to let the Holy Spirit reinterpret it completely, offer a different meaning.
We always want to hear how this lands for you, how these ideas work in practice. What does this specific declaration, I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts, bring up as you go about your day?
We'd love to hear your experiences.
You can always reach us at ACIM at theworldharmonyproject.org or find us on TikTok. We're at the World Harmony Project.
Okay, let's begin with reading the lesson itself. Lesson 281. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts.
Father, your Son is perfect. When I think that I am hurt in any way, it is because I have forgotten who I am and that I am as you created me. Your thoughts can only bring me happiness. If ever I am sad or hurt or ill, I have forgotten what you think and put my little meaningless ideas in place of where your thoughts belong and where they are. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. The thoughts I think with you can only bless. The thoughts I think with you alone are true.
I will not hurt myself today, for I am far beyond all pain. My Father placed me safe in heaven, watching over me, and I would not attack the Son he loves, for what he loves is also mine to love.
Hearing that right after discussing the Holy Spirit, Lesson 281 feels like the Course saying, all right, theory time is over for a moment, put this into action now.
It definitely has that feeling. We're moving past just understanding the structure and getting right to the core application, which is startling when you first really take it in.
I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. It feels like the moment where the ideas have to connect with our actual emotional responses, in the middle of traffic or meetings or family stuff.
It's a truly radical statement because it completely pulls the rug out from under the idea of external victimhood. It says you cannot be hurt by that difficult person at work, or by losing money, or by something not going as planned.
The hurt only comes from the meaning.
The meaning you assign to it. And we should remember how the Course uses the word hurt. It implies a real metaphysical damage to who you are, a lessening of your true self.
Right, not just temporary discomfort.
Exactly. This lesson states clearly that kind of fundamental damage is simply impossible.
That difference between, say, physical pain or fleeting discomfort and that deeper sense of being hurt spiritually seems really key here.
It is. Pain might be a bodily sensation in time, but hurt is the judgment the mind layers on top of that sensation.
The judgment that says, see, this proves I'm separate, vulnerable, flawed.
Yes. And the lesson tells us we have complete control over that judgment, even if the initial sensation arises on its own.
Let's think about a really common, everyday example that shows how easily the mind turns something neutral into something threatening.
Okay.
We see it constantly with things like text messages or brief emails, right?
Yeah.
Communication that lacks emotional tone.
Mm-hmm. Very fertile ground for misinterpretation.
Exactly. Think about getting a text from someone, important partner, boss, friend, that just says something like, we should talk later.
Oh, yes. The mind can instantly spin out.
Takes off, doesn't it? That simple phrase, totally neutral on its own, can trigger this whole flood of anxious projections.
What did I do wrong? Are they angry? Is it bad news? Am I in trouble?
People share these stories online frequently. How much anxiety and conflict arises from reading into these neutral messages? The trouble comes from the thoughts about the words.
Not the words themselves. It's a perfect illustration of the ego's job. The ego is essentially a meaning-making machine that jumps right into any ambiguity. It sees a pause in communication, a certain look, an unfinished sentence.
And it builds a story.
Instantly. And the story is almost always painful, centered on rejection or danger or your own inadequacy.
That connects directly to the lesson's phrase about our little meaningless ideas replacing God's thoughts.
Precisely. Those little ideas are the fearful narratives we invent. They seem to prove the world is unsafe and we're fundamentally lacking or vulnerable.
So the only real pain, the only actual damage that can occur is in that moment of forgetting who we truly are.
Right. The lesson starts right there. Father, your son is perfect.
So the second, I believe I'm hurt or sad or unwell in that fundamental way.
You're choosing to believe a story that contradicts your created reality, your perfection.
And the Holy Spirit is right there, the practical bridge, just waiting to remind us of that perfection.
Offering the correction to the meaning we just assigned, it's an immediate function.
And this principle has to apply everywhere, even where it feels hardest to accept, like with the body.
Yes, the body seems like the ultimate proof that we can be hurt by things outside our minds. Chronic pain, aging, illness, fatigue.
It feels so definitive, like evidence of vulnerability.
It does, yet the course principle holds. The body reflects the mind's chosen thoughts.
So if the mind is invested in thoughts of fear, limitation, guilt,
The body often mirrors that sense of heaviness or constriction. But when the mind lets go of that investment, when it stops trying to prove separation is real and remembers its freedom,
the body can respond.
it often follows with a noticeable sense of lightness, ease. It's not about denying the sensation, but releasing the interpretation of the sensation.
So that lightness is the physical feeling that comes from stopping the mental fight.
It seems to be. You stop insisting on the fearful interpretation. The body itself doesn't cause the fundamental sense of hurt. It's more like the screen where the mind's belief in separation plays out.
If the mind remembers its safety, the body doesn't need to keep demonstrating danger quite so loudly.
And this phase of the workbook, part 2, really seems to hand us the controls for this, moment by moment.
It feels less like learning concepts and more like being asked to actively steer.
Yes. We've learned the framework of forgiveness, and now it's about noticing, in real time, every single instance where we choose that self-inflicted hurt through thought.
And correcting it immediately.
Correcting it right then and there.
I find that line, I will not hurt myself today, very striking. It's not phrased as a hope or a goal,
No, it's a declaration.
a statement of current intent. It asserts that the habit of self-attack stops now.
Like drinking a line. I see the pattern and I'm choosing differently, starting this instant.
That specific line really struck me. Years ago, I accidentally broke something quite special, a ceramic bowl that belonged to my closest friend. It was a gift she really treasured.
Oh, dear.
And even though she was incredibly gracious about it, completely forgiving, no blame at all, I got stuck on it.
You held on to the guilt.
For years, I actually kept the broken pieces, tucked them away in a little box in a closet.
Wow. Why do you think you did that?
Looking back, every time I saw that box, this wave of shame and guilt would wash over me. It felt so out of proportion to the event, especially given her forgiveness.
It sounds like keeping the pieces was like keeping physical proof of your failure.
Exactly. She offered love and acceptance, but I chose to hold on to the evidence that I was somehow unworthy of it, or that I still owed something.
That's the ego's trick, isn't it? Keep the evidence file open. Maintain the proof that a debt exists, even when forgiveness has been freely given. Guilt keeps you stuck, always looking backward, always feeling indebted.
Instead of just making the correction and moving into the present.
Right. I thought holding on to the proof meant I was being responsible, but it was just keeping me separate from peace. The real breakthrough was seeing that true accountability is much simpler. Acknowledge the mistake, accept the correction, and let it go.
And letting go, releasing the guilt and accepting forgiveness and your own inherent worth, that's what the Course means by the end of dreams.
I think so. It's not that the bowl magically repairs itself.
No, the physical event happened.
But the content associated with it, the guilt, the shame, the feeling of diminishment, gets replaced by the awareness of love, which was there all along. The dream of being indebted ends.
And the dream of needing to wait for peace ends too.
Yes. The lesson says, only in dreams is there a time when he appears to be in prison. That speaks directly to postponement.
Waiting for things outside to change before we allow ourselves peace.
Waiting for the external situation to resolve, waiting for the other person's mood to change, waiting for the bank account to look different.
Even waiting for forgiveness when it's already been given.
Right. All that waiting is just prolonging the dream sequence.
Yeah.
The Holy Spirit's message is consistent. The chains aren't real. You don't need to wait. You're already free.
We see that pattern in conditional peace all the time, don't we? The ego insists, okay, I'll feel safe after this stressful meeting is over, or I can relax when this project is finished.
Or things will be okay once this family issue gets sorted out.
By making peace conditional on external events, we just keep reinforcing the belief that our reality is dictated by the outside world, not by our internal choice for peace.
And today's lesson is the direct counter to that. It's a declaration of present truth. I will not hurt myself today means right now.
This very instant.
Not after the situation changes. Not once the text message meaning is clear. Not once the broken item is replaced. Right now, in the midst of whatever seems to be happening.
And making that choice is the quiet pause the Holy Spirit offers constantly.
It is. Peace isn't something we achieve through struggle or by fixing the world.
It's something we remember.
We remember it when we allow that pause. When we choose to stop the frantic interpretation, stop the self-attack, and just accept the underlying truth. We are safe. We are loved. The world's events cannot touch our reality.
This really feels like the point where we shift from learning about the ideas to actively living them.
Absolutely. Every single moment where a stressful or hurtful thought arises becomes a live opportunity.
An opportunity to apply the lesson right then.
To choose again, to think with God, aligning with that loving perspective, instead of defaulting to the ego's fearful story.
And it's important to be clear about the Holy Spirit's role here. It's reinterpretation, not making the event disappear.
Yes. Lesson 281 shows us exactly how that guidance works in practice. When we state, I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts, we're essentially opening the door.
Inviting the Holy Spirit to offer a different perspective on whatever negative story we started to spin.
And that reinterpretation is the healing. It doesn't necessarily change the external facts the text was sent, the bowl broke, but it changes their meaning for us.
It shifts the narrative.
Completely. It moves from the ego's version, I've been harmed, this proves I'm unsafe, to the simple truth. You just believed a thought that wasn't true about yourself. Your actual self is untouched, still perfect, still safe.
It's a correction, but always a gentle one. Always leading back towards love.
And when we claim, I am far beyond all pain, We're identifying with that untouchable self God created.
The self that isn't defined by the body or by what happens in the world.
So if the body feels pain or distress, it's seen as a signal that the mind has momentarily forgotten its true identity again, identifying with limitation or fear.
And when we see that mechanism clearly, that suffering is linked to a choice to identify with fear,
The suffering starts to lose its seeming purpose. The ego uses pain as its prime evidence. It's proof that separation is real and scary, justifying its own existence.
its defense mechanism.
Right. But when we stop using pain and distress as proof for separation, its grip loosens. It doesn't have a real foundation.
This understanding didn't come out of nowhere in the Course, did it? It builds on earlier lessons.
Definitely. You can feel the groundwork laid in lessons like 196.
It can be, but myself I crucify. The idea that all attack is self-attack.
And lesson 248, whatever suffers is not part of me. These were preparing us conceptually.
Building the understanding needed to finally trust this moment.
To be ready to stop defending against illusions and just accept the peace that's always present.
And remember lesson 267. My heart is beating in the peace of God.
Yes. That reinforces the idea beautifully. Peace isn't the prize we get after we fix everything.
Peace is the fix. It's the healing itself, available the moment we choose the Holy Spirit's view over the ego's interpretation.
That feels like the core shift lesson 281 represents. We're moving the focus of our practice.
From trying to manage or fix all the painful details within the dream,
All the challenging situations, the difficult people, the anxieties.
to simply choosing to let go of the belief in the dream's power to hurt us, realizing there's nothing fundamentally out there that requires a defense from us.
Every twinge of anxiety, every surge of anger or sadness becomes just a reminder signal.
An invitation to remember our inherent safety.
So when we practice with I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts, we're not pretending an uncomfortable feeling isn't there.
No, it's acknowledging the feeling, but then reaffirming the deeper truth. Our perfect safety hasn't changed. We remain whole right now.
Now, making this practical, especially when we feel overwhelmed, needs a clear approach. How do we actually live the declaration, I will not hurt myself today?
We need something tangible, steps we can take in the moment to interrupt that automatic downward spiral of thought.
It starts with pausing and just noticing without adding more judgment.
Okay, step 1. Pause. Notice what's happening inside. What's the feeling? Maybe tension, irritation, a sinking feeling. And try to pinpoint this specific thought that triggered it. Just observe.
Step 2. Gently, kindly, repeat the lesson's core idea to yourself. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. Let that truth anchor you.
Step 3. Acknowledge the emotion that's present, the fear, sadness, whatever it is, and state clearly, perhaps just internally, this feeling comes from the thought I chose about this, not from the situation itself, taking ownership of the interpretation.
Step 4. Ask for help sincerely. Something like, Holy Spirit, I see I chose a thought that hurts. Please help me see this differently. Reinterpret this for me. It's that willingness to receive a new perspective.
Step 5. Then just rest for a moment. Be still. Create a little space for that corrected perspective, that feeling of relief to emerge. It's not about forcing an intellectual understanding.
No, it's about allowing the feeling of safety, the release that comes with accepting the truth.
This process shows how simple the correction really is, underneath the complexity we sometimes feel.
Every pang of hurt, guilt, anger, anxiety is really the mind signaling it's ready. Ready to remember its peace, ready for a different way of seeing the world.
And when we choose this correction, the Holy Spirit essentially takes those difficult moments
And returns them to us cleansed, what the ego tried to use as proof of guilt or lasting damage.
becomes just another opportunity for immediate release, a chance to choose love again, right now.
And that's the quiet but profound shift we're learning to trust. Peace isn't waiting down the road.
It's not dependent on circumstances changing.
No, it's right here, underneath every single thought that causes suffering. Always available.
So practicing lesson isn't about escaping the world. It's more like a freedom rehearsal.
I like that. A freedom rehearsal.
Each time we pause and affirm, I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. We're practicing the remembrance that we were never truly trapped by the world's appearances anyway.
And knowing that, internalizing that safety, that's the core of this whole section of the workbook, isn't it? Learning to navigate life's complexities.
While holding on to that inner conviction, I am beyond the world's capacity to inflict real, lasting harm.
So maybe the final thought for today is that forgiveness, in its deepest sense, isn't mainly about pardoning others.
It's primarily about what we offer ourselves.
Every single time we choose not to suffer over a thought that simply isn't true. That's self-forgiveness in action.
And when we stop attacking ourselves with these thoughts, it naturally extends outward. Because the world we see is just a reflection of our inner state. When we choose peace within and stop the self-attack,
The world has to look different. Gentler, less threatening.
more innocent, more loving, is an automatic consequence of our inner shift.
That really is the quiet gift the Holy Spirit offers with this lesson, isn't it? The simple, profound reminder. Nothing real about you was ever lost or damaged.
And therefore, nothing unreal, no mistaken thought, no worldly event can ever truly hurt you.
Which means the peace you're seeking isn't somewhere else, sometime later.
It is now, always now.
Join us next time as we continue this practice together, moving into Lesson 282.
I